Persons living with disabilities in Abuja have cried out over the continuous neglect and abandonment by the federal government. Some of them made this known during a town hall meeting at the Kwali Area Council of Abuja with the Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education, CHRICED. They say they are never beneficiaries of government intervention programs, and there is no plan on ground to integrate them into such trainings which can improve their lives.
COVID-19 have really, be of problem to us. Problem to us, what do I really mean here? During that severe time of COVID-19, some of our, PWD, OI or the FCT, were being deprived of having our daily things that we are into. Like examples, some of us are into like tailoring, shoemaking, but not all. But during then, they were unable to carry out that. Then number two, during COVID-19, in fact, some of us were equally dropped from the school. The few ones that were in school were dropped up to this moment that I'm speaking. Then, number three, some of my members that were on one shop of the other, that they were into skill of, like shoemaking, tailoring. Some of them sold or sell their garage, a gadget, because that was the only place that they were using to survive. Some of us are family men and women. So because of that, truly, COVID-19 has really dealt with us. Because ever since, FCT, will I say, government in general, have not been carrying us along. So we are, and we don't believe of roaming about the street by begging for harm, that we still see ourselves as very important creature, that we can have something to do with ourselves, that is, with our hands, instead of, roaming about the street. But that was the issue. In fact, what we want, being us the original inhabitants, persons with disability, FCT, the commission suppose could have, see to it by employing, because we have graduates across the CHRICED Council. You understand? They're supposed to, give us that opportunity or that chance specifically for with the OI of the FCT, but the reverse is the case. None of our member is been, has been employed there.
Did not reach out to you?
Yes. Talk less more of, they have not reached out to us, talk less more of, see to it that they will employ, maybe, you understand. Then number two, the Disability Commission should equally do well. We have Disability Act that has been signed into law by His Excellency, the President, Muhammad Buhari, that Disability Commission should do well and secure, that is, give us the act so that we can have the knowledge, what it takes for us to live, that is, for us to know our right. Because I get to realize that that Disability Act has a load that has to do with persons with disability, that is, to the community of persons with disability. So, Disability Commission should, National Disability Commission should do well and get to us copy so that we can equally queue into what it is there, because we know nothing pertaining that for now. We want government to really come to our aid by, number one, skill, by come closer to us, get some of our members being trained in every aspect of maybe skill that you can think of, because my people are zealous and passionate to get themselves very busy or up to date. So number two, government should equally come to our aid by, like this center now, if they can, secure us with some of the gadget so that my member can, get the skills, required skills that they want, like the tailoring, like the shoe making, even soap making, whatever. If they can come to help us and give us the necessary material here, in fact, we are ready. The government should equally do well and carry us along, most especially the FCT administration, because FCT administration is just like a government to we the persons with disability in FCT. But we have not been carried along. So many programs has been, happening, but none of the program has ever reached us, like national entrepreneurship program, like Empower, like conditional cash transfer, like youth empowerment, traders money, market money. We have been cited. So please, if they can give us such programs, we are ready to go, or we are ready to, move ourselves, move forward.
For us to be engaged or involved in skill acquisition, we want the FCT administration, even the commission being established, and the federal government, we want them to engage us. There is this, we have ITF that they are training people in different perspectives. We want them to engage, involve our members in some of their training, because I've realized, or we know, their training is more of relevant, their training based on model skill training. So we want them to help us with some of our members to be trained from ITF. That will give us more knowledge in what we have been engaging. Some of us are into hands work in different means. By the time we are being trained in a modern way, based on what they are doing there, it will help us. They are doing phone repair, computer repair, catering, and many more. So our members are ready to learn. We want government to engage us in such training.
Actually, it has a lot of effects on women. Majority of the women were affected seriously during the COVID-19. Particularly, some of us that are traders, they lost their capital due to the lockdown. Some of them were unable to go to the market. They have to stay indoor, and they have families. So they started using the main capital instead of savings. At the end of the day, they lost the whole thing. That is number one effect. Two, the same effect goes to the children. They have been sponsoring their children through this means. Now, there's no capital, there's no savings. How do we think this thing will go out? It doesn't work. That is why some of our children are now at home, because the fund is no more there to continue the education. That is another way. So many of us has been affected in one way or the other. In this organization, this particular organization, we had a savings which we used to do contribution on weekly basis. But since this COVID-19 affected us, some of us that were supposed to be putting 500 naira per week or 1,000 naira, we are unable to do that. You see that instead of progressing, we are now demoting back, which is bad. We want government to come to our aid to support women in this organization, not only women, even men. If they can empower us on different means, it will help us. In financial aspects, they can support us financially so that we will continue our business. Also, we will send back our children to school if they can help us. Before then, I had something to discuss pertaining this previous election that just rounded up. I personally went to the polling unit to cast my vote. I see how people with disabilities suffered. Before the election, we were given orientation that special machines will be provided for people with disability, which was not so. I went there to observe if actually what they said would be implemented. We were told that some of us that are affected by leprosy and the other things, we know we have degrees of challenges. Some are crippled, some are paralyzed, some are visually impaired, some are leprosy, so some are deaf. We were told before the election that special machine will be provided for people that has been affected by leprosy. If the machine cannot capture your finger, it will capture your face, which is not true, and visual. And some of us, we went there to cast the votes, we couldn't. Even able bodies face a lot of challenges, but we suffered more harm. We were not given opportunity to cast our vote due to the machine that was provided. So we suffered a lot. We want government to look into our issue. Let us be carried along. We are citizens of this country. We want to partake in all aspects of life. I suggested before the election that if they can capture people with disability to work with them in this INEC, it will help us. Let me give you this simple illustration. Like now, I'm persons with disability. If you go to I go to any polling unit to deliver votes. When my other colleagues see me as persons with disability, there's the way they will respond to me because I'm their own person. So if government can allow us, give us chance and opportunity, this thing will go viral and it will help us. So that is my message. I want federal government, from federal government level to state, even local level, to look into the matter of people with disability.
I went for that INEC training actually, but they didn't pick me. Though I felt bad because I felt that maybe because I'm physically challenged, they think maybe I cannot do anything. That was why they didn't pick me. So I just encourage myself because you just have to sometimes if that you cannot feel inferior when you yourself has not, if you encourage yourself, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. So I laid that one, but that one concerning that face capturing, they were telling us that if the person does not have hand, they can use face, and that one gave challenge in that polling unit that day. And another thing again, I graduated from ND. Going back, I cannot go back because I don't have anything doing. I've submitted my CV everywhere, nowhere. No, they would sometimes they'll go and tell you that you can't do this job. So I feel that in this country, they just keep us aside that we can't do it. We can't do it. And we know that there is ability in disability. People that are physically fit cannot even do what we can do. They don't even have the idea that we have. But whenever you come to, maybe you want to have an idea, they will feel that maybe, they will think that maybe that disability has affected your brain. That is one thing that people, so that thing is really, 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 sometimes, if not that because of some books that I read that normally encourage me, and I want all of us to be encouraged, to encourage ourselves that there is ability in disability. No matter how society see you, don't bother about them because they are not your creator. Your creator created you for a purpose. Everybody has an idea. Whether you are crippled, you are blind, you are deaf, have different purpose that God has brought you on this earth. So that thing, I used to feel bad, but now I don't feel bad. I feel happy because I know where I'm going. I know that I have something that other does not have. We have something that other people does not have. So I want government to look at it. At least let them take us like other people. Let them take us to know, because many of us here, we are very, very intelligent. There are some people that are good in school. There are some people that can do something. I myself, I do something. I'm a stylist. Though I go to school, but I wanted to get a job so that I can go back to HND. By the time I come back and establish something on my own, I don't want to depend on anybody, because people feel that when disability come, they are liability, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So we want government to help us.
This project is titled Promoting the Rights of the Original Inhabitants in the Federal Capital Territory, and the project factors so much of the needs and the rights of the most vulnerable group. And as you can see, we have here the original inhabitant people with disabilities. What necessitated this tour is to see for ourselves and also interact with them to understand their challenges, because if you are not going through the situation, you are not in the shoes of the person passing through the challenge, you may not really understand what they are facing. So that's why we said, let's hear directly from the people who are affected. How has the system treated them, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, what are their needs in terms of economic opportunities, jobs and skills. And so this is what our project is about, mainstreaming the voices of the marginalized population in the governance process. So you could hear them talk about some of the things they need. They need access to training, livelihood skills, job opportunities. They want the government agencies to be more responsive to their needs. It's a shame that a government agency can organize a training for jobs and for skills acquisition and not factor in the people who need it the most. These people, because of their disability, are not able to access opportunities, and they feel neglected. You could see some of them coming to tears, describing the kind of experiences, how the rest of the population treats them with indignity. And so this is what we're trying to portray. We're not just looking at it from the point of view of complaining about the problems, but we're looking at it in terms of way forward, in terms of solutions. And so this will now be a basis for us to reach out to the respective agencies concerned to factor the needs of these special people more in the governance process.